I cannot imagine our life without them in it, honestly. And to think that they've actually only been in our life for 4 months, because I couldn't imagine our life without them.
Hey folks, welcome into the drive.
We're Dan and Sylvia, and we're live from our driveway where life's biggest decisions deserve better conversations.
Absolutely they do. And today what we're going to talk about is the things that got us to this point. What made us do this, right? Our neighbors coming in, building communities.
So pull up a chair and join us.
Fantastic. So you remember when all this really kind of took place for us?
I do. I remember it almost like it was yesterday, and it's crazy. It was like 4 months ago.
That's right. 4 months ago, two people moved in that we hit it off really well with them. In fact, there are people in the neighborhood who swear that we were related.
But it goes back further than that. I am in real estate. I'm not going to hide that, although this isn't like a sales podcast or anything like that. But it's different. Dan and I started dating, and from the very beginning, we would always hang out in this driveway. In fact, before we even started recording today, we were out here grilling some food for dinner tonight. But it doesn't matter the time of year. We'll have a fire pit out here. We just listen to music. We catch up about what's been going on during the day, the week, life, whatever's happening. We just hang out here. We love it. And so what happened is about 9 months ago, the next door neighbors, he knew them. Okay.
I knew them for a little bit. They were here when I moved in when the subdivision was built, and they were a great couple. They had three little girls, and you'd catch them outside every now and then. But they kind of were standoffish. They kind of kept to themselves, which is fine, not a problem at all. And then they decided that it was time to pick up and move, go back to their hometown, as it were, and then that opened the door to our new friends.
So the home was vacant for about 6 months, and during those 6 months, we would talk all the time about, man, I hope we get good neighbors, and what kind of
Mm-hmm.
neighbors would we end up with, and oh my gosh, what if we hated them?
What if they weren't dog lovers? We've got dogs.
Yeah, I mean, but all those things run through your mind. And I think I take
Yep.
it for granted because I do real estate every day that
Yep.
you don't know what you're going to end up with when a for sale sign comes up next door to you, or even when you purchase a house, like what's going to end up next door to you. And for us, I always joke, like, is it going to be someone in the witness protection program, or what would be there?
Right. And whether they were a young couple with kids or whether they were an old retired couple that just stuck to themselves and did their gardening all the time and would yell at us for playing our music too loud and hanging out in the driveway for too long. But as it turns out, we got really lucky.
I I don't even think luck is the right word. I don't even know what describes it, but we had actually gone on a date on a Saturday night, and we were coming home. It was raining, and we live on a little circle. There's about 15 houses on our circle, and pulled up, and the whole thing was packed. We could barely even get into our driveway, and they had two U-Hauls, and immediately I'm overly excited. I want to go over and meet them right then.
And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, they got a house full of people. They're unloading things. You can hear their dogs barking in the background. And I'm like, no, no, no. It's cold. It's rainy. Let them finish unloading. Tomorrow we'll go over and introduce ourselves. And as it turns out, they ended finishing unloading everything that night. And what we did is we got up to go have breakfast like we always do, and we saw the two U-Hauls, and then all of a sudden, out they came. And what was it? They were ready to take the U-Hauls back and bring more stuff full of things. But we did say hi.
We like waved. It was more like they ducked and they ran off, and it was random. It's probably another story for another day, but there was some random stuff we found in our yard that morning, and it kind of left us wondering what kind of neighbors these were, especially after we had wondered for 6 months what kind of neighbors we'd end up with. But it was later that night that they were unloading their car. We were out in the driveway like we always are, grilling, and the husband um, introduced himself, and he told us his wife's name and his kids' names. And I was like, "Excuse me, did you say?" And with the name he said, and he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And he was like,
Yep.
"What?" And I was like, "My youngest son has that same name, and I know what you're in store for. So I'm so sorry."
Yep.
And I guess that was, I mean, the rest is history, seriously. Like,
Yeah, we've hit it off ever since, and really and truly, that's kind of what's made this happen, right? It's because we'll get together, whether it's a grill steak or chicken or hamburgers, or maybe it's just Tuesday night and we've all had a long day, and we'll sit down in the driveway, let the kiddos tire themselves out, the adults sit there and have them an adult beverage or water or what have you, unwind from the day, and then we go in and start over the next day. And that in a nutshell is kind of what sparked all of this, is because in this area, all our neighbors are, they all commute to work every day, and it's a 30-40 minute commute. There's a lot of traffic, construction, and so when you get home in the evening, you really don't feel like going in, meeting your neighbors or whatnot. But then, on Saturday afternoon, when it's just you're done with all your chores and you're kind of sitting around the house, tired of watching TV, and you happen to go out in your garage and you see four people that live down your street, and they're just hanging out, having a good time, talking about whatever, playing music and laughing. It builds fellowship, camaraderie, and everybody wants that. As people, we really, I think, right? And tell me if I'm wrong, folks, but don't we want that? We all want that feeling of belonging, to be part of something bigger than just ourselves.
absolutely. And I think for us, we didn't realize that that was kind of missing in our life. We haven't actually known each other that long. We have a story we'll share with you, I'm sure, sometime about our history and how we met and where we are today. But so we've spent, this time getting to really know each other. But
Right?
as we're like getting to incorporate others into our lives, we didn't know what we were in store for. And this couple is, they're not our age. In fact, they're actually closer to my children's age, and they have young children, and that's part of my favorite part is like there's a most definite trail in our yards leading a pathway from our driveway to their driveway, because everyone is going back and forth, whether it's to borrow an egg, whether it's they're letting our dogs out because we're stuck in traffic, or it's their kids running over to get candy out of our gumball machine. It's
Or
it's just
popsicles,
our popsicles.
Yeah. Right now, with it so hot, I mean, you have to wait till you get out late in the evenings, but even the kids are like red faced and they want a popsicle. So it's always great to open them up and cut open a popsicle and let them sit there. Flavor ice, I think is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to
They
plug anybody, but
they love our popsicles. So, but it's great because we've become Uncle Danny and Aunt Sylvia, and it's been so much fun because we're almost experiencing like what it's like, I suppose, going to be grandparents before that actually happens for us.
that's great. What they say is true. All you do is you have all the fun you want with them, and then you turn around and hand them to mom and dad and say, "Y'all have fun. We'll see y'all here in a little while." You know, because they're dirty, they're red faced, and you're like, "Yeah, it was great. We have a blast. Enjoy that cleanup." It always works for a great chuckle, I think. But more importantly, it's that kind of feeling that everybody wants to have in their life, to know that you can go next door to your neighbor, particularly in this time when technology seems to separate us and keeps us more engaged watching social media like you're doing now. And instead of hanging out with your friends or your neighbors, all it took was a simple walk next door to say hi. Yes, they were tired and ready to go on with their day, but they did acknowledge us and got in their truck and took off. And later that afternoon, he stopped by, said something, said hi, sorry, we're just extremely exhausted. And like Sylvia said, it took off from there. It's one of the best things we've ever done. You agree?
I agree. I cannot imagine our life without them in it, honestly. And to think that they've actually only been in our life for 4 months, because I couldn't imagine our life without them. it just seems like they've been there forever. And so, we've been thinking of ways to expand this, because any given time, it's actually surprising they're not here right now, and we
Right.
don't have a 2 or 4 year old running on the screen right now, because it will happen. I guarantee it'll happen, and then we will have to cut them out of the
The video,
video. But
or at least blur their image, blur their faces, and protect the innocent.
I don't know if they're innocent.
Oh, they're pretty innocent. They're still little young kids, so they haven't done anything wrong. They're just being kids, right?
Right,
And
right.
that's part of it too. Is that this neighborhood is full of young families, and there's a ton of children running around. But that's really all you see is you see the kids running around. You don't see a whole lot of parents. And I mean, I'm sure they're busy living their lives, but you know, you want to get out there and capture that moment with your kiddos. You will see from time to time, we have a green area in front of our house, and I'm sure at some point you'll get to see the neighborhood. But you will see young families out playing ball, dads teaching their kids the fundamentals of baseball, soccer, and even football. And it's really great. And that's one of the things that the more you spend time out of your home, shaking people's hands, getting to know them, talking to them, saying hi as they walk by on their evening walk, you get to know them and you get to expand your family. And that's something that I think a lot of people, particularly in this day and age, they just tend to stay in their own bubble instead of expanding and getting to know their neighbors. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree. I know that back at Halloween time, we were getting ready to pass out candy. Didn't know what to expect because it was going to be my first Halloween here. And I saw in the neighborhood Facebook group that there were some people on our little circle. Like I said, it's tiny. That like they were pairing up and they were going to sell hot dogs, and I was like, "That's so cool! Like
Yep.
neighbors know each other." And I'll be honest, I was maybe a little bit jealous, and maybe what is actually sparked a little bit of us getting to know our neighbors more. And so it was one Sunday afternoon, we were sitting out here with our next door neighbors, and I was like, I'm pretty sure those are the people that did the Halloween hot dogs. Let's go meet them.
Yep.
And the guys refused to go with us. Imagine that, the guys being stubborn. And
We were grilling dinner. I mean, let's be real. You can't turn your back on a grill, a hot grill cooking good food. I mean, come on, guys. You can agree that with me. Agree with that.
I'm pretty sure when you claim you were grilling that y'all were drinking beverages and shooting smack, but okay.
So Sylvia likes to be a little more PG. We're shooting the shit and drinking cold beer. But the grill was still hot and there was chicken on it. I mean, she could have waited.
So, anyways, we went over to meet some neighbors, and as we're meeting them, one of them said, "Okay, hold up, I have to know this because it was us that were doing the hot dogs," and he said it was him and his neighbor, and he said, "But we have a bet going. We have to know the truth. Y'all have known each other for years, right? Because we've
Yep.
seen y'all hanging out, and there's something not right about y'all. Like y'all aren't normal. You're not just normal random neighbors like they just moved in and y'all get to know each other." And we just kind of looked at each other like, people are placing bets on us. And then we heard it from someone else too.
Yep.
Like our neighbors think we've known each other for years, and literally we met them 4 months ago. And it's crazy.
It's just been so natural. It's like they've been there with us forever. You know, we haven't got to the point where we're finishing each other's thoughts, but we're extremely close already. But and by and large, it's the connection is there. And what's great is everybody else in the street or on this little half, what do you call it, half circle,
Mm-hmm.
they've also seen it and they want to be a part of it, right? And so that brings us to the opportunities that present itself. And Sylvia had a great one that came up, and it was her idea.
Yeah. So what I really wanted to do is do a chili cook-off. Like I'm not gonna lie, I want to do a chili cook-off, but
In the dead of
we
summer.
live in um I think it said it felt like 102 when we started recording.
Yep.
So it is so hot, and it is not chilly weather. I could eat chili right now, but the thought of being outside eating chili would not be good. So we decided to throw a snow cone party,
Yep.
and we did a block party, and we learned a few things doing it. But what we learned most importantly in doing it was like everyone wants community. It was crazy.
what started, and really I came in a little late because I ended up having to stay at the office for a little longer than I wanted to. But as I'm coming down the street, you could see the snow cone machine set up, or truck and trailer set up. And then as you're coming in, you see the different groups of people sitting in their driveway, laughing, talking with each other, waving at the other driveways. And before long, you've got people walking in from other parts of the neighborhood, grabbing a snow cone, waving. We were grilling hamburgers and hot dogs. Three driveways down, they were doing the same thing. And before long, we're all intermingling in one driveway. This driveway, the driveway of our lives. We're getting to know one another, having a good time. I think we stayed up all night long.
Yeah, I think we went to bed close to midnight, and our party started about 6 o'clock. Not obviously, not everyone stayed that long, but our neighborhood, our HOA does events, and people don't show up. I don't know what the difference is in our event versus what the neighborhood does. It's definitely not because Sylvia and our neighbor planned something. I
Yep.
think it was they actually see what we do with our neighbors and they want a piece of that. That people are craving community in this digital world. And
Yep.
so, what do you think that is, Dan?
Well, I think what that is it's real easy to sit there and look at something on your phone or stream a show on TV and then just sit there and know that you're in the dark by yourself, or you're with your significant other and you've had the same conversation, or you've seen the same type of show 30 or 40 times over. And then you, like I said earlier, you get up, you go take the trash out, and you hear people out in the driveway laughing, carrying on, having a good time. And that's what it is to me. I think is that people see other people out mixing it up, and I think as a group, as people, that's what we want. We crave. What was it you called it again? Camaraderie,
Community.
community. In fact, there are other driveways in this neighborhood that people do that. You drive down the street, and you're going to see 4 or 5 other people, but they all stay in that one driveway. So what we need to do is find a way, right? How do we do that? Drop in the messages. Give me some ideas for somebody that is 2 blocks over, who's hanging out in their driveway just like us, so we can all get together, right?
Right. And I love it. We had the opportunity to meet some people that actually just moved in a week ago. They walked over from blocks away and they thought this was normal.
Yep.
Like we did this like every Friday night or something, which was great. And we actually have someone that just moved in. They actually haven't even moved in, 2 doors down from us, that they are in the process of moving in, and their teenagers came and they met everyone, which was absolutely great because they're feeling plugged in immediately from day one. I know as we were planning it, I was meeting. Dan said that we do have a green area across from us, and I walk it every morning. I met one of the neighbors
Yep.
on when we were walking, and she said, I moved in 2 years ago, and I have not met anyone. And what I learned from that is sometimes people just need you to go first.
Yep.
They need you to say like, "Hey, I need community."
Yep. And that's what this is about, is to get the word out. you know get out there, say hi, do it yourself. You don't have to sit here at your own home. Maybe we're hoping you're streaming on your cell phone or YouTube, but get out. When you get home, go shake your neighbor's hand. You never know what you might have in common. Most guys love sports, and we'll sit here and watch Ranger games, Stars, or the Cowboys. College football's coming, so we're all excited about that. She's not, but we are. The guys are.
It's all good. But when's the last time that you actually like got out and met someone new? Just asked a neighbor over for coffee. I will tell you, we've had great evenings with our
Mm-hmm.
neighbors, but some of my favorite mornings are, we just said, hey, we were out smoking meat for something, and we're like, we're at coffee on our driveway,
Yep.
and they come out in their pajamas. Or we
Right.
were craving donuts and we just randomly went to the donut store, and then we show up at our neighbor's door and give donuts to the little boys.
Or the best is when you're getting ready to go to work in the morning at 6:40, and our neighbor's taking her babies to the daycare center, and they wait for you to come outside to say hi because they enjoy seeing you and they want to tell you have a great day. There's no greater feeling than knowing you fit in. And so that's one of those things that you don't get if you don't get out and make that initial step.
Yes, like this past week, literally, they were so confused because Daniel took my car to work one day,
Yep.
and I was getting out to do my morning walk, so I got to witness all of it. And so he was getting in the car, and I looked at the 2-year-old. He was so confused of why he was in my car, and I could see him in his mind trying to figure it out. And he was sitting on their step outside watching it. And when Daniel looked up, because he was trying to adjust his phone and all that, when he looked up and saw that he was looking at him, he put the car in park, got out, and ran over to hug him. And man, to see this little boy, I swear his feet, he was running in air. He was so excited. His day, his week, his month was probably made because Uncle Danny got out of the car to go give him a hug before he went to school. And to have that kind of impact, like I told their mom one time, and like it, I hope I don't like tear up saying it because I tear up when I think about it. Like I think that we are so lucky to be able to be a part of those boys' lives.
Yep. Get to sit there and watch them grow. The oldest is about to start t-ball here in a couple of weeks, and we're looking forward to going and watching the t-ball games with them. When I can, I know Sylvia's going to have the ability to do it easier than I can because my work schedule, but when time allows, it's going to be fun. And seeing there, watching them grow up, that's something that it's a different perspective than what you're used to, especially if you're parents and you've been raising your babies. Now you're watching somebody else raise their own, and so it's fun, it's entertaining, and it is comical at times. Yeah, I remember seeing the 2-year-old running across, and he's kind of hopping over to see me before he takes off, before I have to take off for work. But yeah, those are some special moments. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And it's all because of a driveway. So that just gives you a little more history of the driveway and the conversations that happen because we have an amazing relationship with neighbors, and we had a whole snow cone party with over 75 people that turned out just because a driveway and two neighbors decided to throw a party.
and there's much more to come. All right, folks. Well, before we sign off, I'm going to challenge you, obviously, if it's reasonable and safe to do it, to go knock on your neighbor's door. Get to know them. Invite them for a cup of coffee, maybe in the morning before you go to work, or heck, in the evening, have an iced tea with them before the sun goes down.
Absolutely. Go meet someone new.
Folks, it's been great talking with you. Just a little bit of what's to come. This and so much more is on the horizon. All the adventures with our new friends and our own adventures. Until then, we'll see you on the drive.
If this conversation reminded you of someone, be sure and share it with them. And as always, pull up a chair.
And step into the drive. Have a great evening, folks.